Good morning, everyone. Hopefully, you're all tucked up and sleeping in on Sunday morning in Les Abdelone. I think the weather's still a bit average over there, but we'll see. 7 o'clock here in the evening in Hobart, really nice day. So, all part of the fun. And there's a few interesting things going on in the tracker today. The first big news is that looks like now finally we can confirm that the big interview with Tapio and a whole list of his naval architects and the builders involved with the refit and a few other specialists to talk about in English the issue of the sinking of Asteria. It's now set up for Monday. We're just waiting to confirm the time. I think it'll be late afternoon Europe time. But anyway, look out for a post on that in the next number of hours once everyone confirms again. There's been a bit of an effort to get everyone together, and it'll be a very interesting and informative discussion about the lead-in of events, the refit of Asteria, some potential not conclusions, but assumptions and ideas about what may and may not have happened, and certainly clear the air on some things that absolutely did not happen. There's been lots of speculation about what could have caused it and how it could have caused it, blah, 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 and a lot of that is rubbish, but there's still some unknown entities there, but it'll be something worth listening to for sure. So stand by, but it'll be sometime on Monday, European time, possibly late afternoon, early evening. Okay, so for now, first of all, just to confirm again that Sue Haley and Robert Knox-Johnson have passed their message across to the pilot vessel Wayuna at the entrance to Port Phillip Bay there in Melbourne, and now he's underway again. And in fact, this position, just so you can see what happens here, this position here was scheduled for the equivalent of the 27th of January, assuming that Sue Haley left Les Abdelone, or left Falmouth, on the 4th of September, which was the official start date of this GGR. So you can see he's past the latitude of the longitude rather of Hobart, and that was the benchmark we used for the closing of the gate for the 31st of January. So for 26, we'll do the same thing, and if you're getting behind Sue Haley heading towards the gate, you may not make the gate. So that was how that eventuated. Anyway, right now Guy is chuffing along still, heading south. We suggested he doesn't go any further south, but now it's a case of the weather and the wind and waves is actually dictating his course at the moment. He'll still be running with very little sail area, if nothing at all. Towing warps. We haven't had a tweet from him today, but he's on a straight line course, so making 5 knots. He's done 90 nautical miles in the last 24 hours, and he's got a bit of breeze there right now. So based on that position right there, if we click over to windy, this is the gust forecasting. So the wind strength for the moment, the forecast wind is 30 knots, right where he is. That's about where he is now, and this is that's interesting. Anyway, wind gusts up around 40 knots, and you can see there's a lot more coming. This is going to go over the top of him slowly but surely. This is actually wrong. Boom. That's better. Now it's right. Sorry. This is today's weather. Okay, so gust forecast he's got at the moment. He's got 44 knots. Okay, suggested gusts. The wave height that he's projecting at the moment is 6.2. It'll actually be bigger than that. He's probably getting 7-8 metres by now because even these wave projections are a forecast and they can go up to 20-30% more. So I would suggest guys probably getting 8 metre seas, maybe bigger. But at least they're all from the same direction. They should be long, easy swells, no real cross swells. So that's pretty cool. Cloud cover, complete 100% cloud cover, no rain or anything, and visibility, got good visibility, so that's not a problem. You can see what's going on, and the wind again for now, forecast wind is 32 knots. We sent him another weather update advising him of the current conditions every 6 hours for the next 24, 36 hours, and we put him on alert for the big blow coming on Thursday. With big winds and big seas, so he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's making plans based on that. So plenty going on with Guy. Back to here and now. So if we just decrease the size of that, and you'll see these so you can see the progression of the systems as it comes across. He's in the thick of it now. It's going to back off a little bit, but if we come forward to a day, this is tomorrow, you can see it's moved over very quickly and moderated. So this will be back to sort of like 30 knots with 35, 40 knot gusts, maybe a little bit less than he's got now. And the sea will hold. The sea, it's been generating for so long, it's pretty much going to stay the same. So he's going to have big seas for a while, but the wind will back off, and hopefully not back off too far, which is what you don't want. If it gets too light, the waves then can't. The wind doesn't help them stand up, and they roll over. But this looks pretty good. So he's in for more of the same, but not a lot less, a bit less. So he'll be sailing again. He'll put some sails up, maybe a little bit of mainsail as well, and start making good speed. So that's 24 hours out on the 30th. And then on the 31st, here we go again, he's going to clip the top of this one, which is one of the reasons we didn't want him to go too far south. And then on the 1st of February, it's going to come up and catch up on a few things. So he's got, and then there's a big one coming behind that as well. So plenty going on for Guy, and he's down here in the middle of it. So we'll watch that, and we will be giving continuous weather updates for him every day moving forward. We don't chop him on the 31st. We wait until he's on the longitude of Hobart. So he's a GGR entrant on Chichester class up until that point. And even then, there's a transition phase. We're still here to help and all that sort of stuff. So we're not being cruel or anything like that. It's just the case of we need to maintain the notice of race and the rules of the event. So we'll keep an eye on him, and his team is as well, and all will be fine. Okay, so moving across to our backbenchers here, we've got Ian Herbert Jones doing 5.7 knots in a nice breeze, and Jeremy's been pacing okay, but he's now just doing 4.9 knots. So I'll just build that up so we can see, so you can get a better idea of what's going on. They've both got breeze. Ian's got a nice breeze. The good news is it's blowing this way, but Ian's going that way. I like seeing that. And he knows he's got to get around the snares here. So he's looking pretty good. And Jeremy's got a nice breeze, so he'll be enjoying that. Not going as fast as he'd prefer, but nice, pleasant conditions. Sea state will be down low. Let's have a look at the waves. Yeah, he's got 2 metre seas. Ian's got a bit more. He's got 3.5 or something. And anyway, they're both heading east, not west, as I said the other night. You get so many little conflicts of talking about the winds they get versus the course they get. So moving that along for a couple of days. We can come through till tomorrow. 24 hours from now, it's softening off. Headwinds for Ian. He'll get through that. He'll tack down on port tack, no doubt. And Jeremy will be wallowing. He'll have not much wind, so he's not going to go anywhere. 31, 24, so it's 2 days ahead. The breeze comes back. Jeremy will be happy with that, so will Ian. They'll get going. So they've got a slow day, and then they're back to nice sailing conditions through to the 31st. And then we step into the 1st of February on day 3. And, plenty. Jeremy will have this lot here, strong northeasterly. And he's got to make his way up there. He won't want to push that. He'll probably come down a bit and see how long it lasts. And I cut this back and have a look and see what it's looking like. It's a reasonable system. We'll roll it forward another day. That's about another day, and it's flattening out, so that's good. So he'll be able to bring his course up, take it on the beam, and get around there. And then Ian will be, back in this light stuff again. So no dramas, just a few changes. So that's cool for them. No one's reporting any issues here at all. All pretty happy. Same with Guy. Guy's not reporting anything at the moment. No concerned tweets or anything. But I know he's not stressing out, but he's got a lot on his plate for Guy. So that's the challenge of the GGR, and at the same time, I'm sure he'll be loving it because that's what he's there for. Captain Goog. Okay, so doing quite nicely right now. 6.1 knots, 130 nautical mile days, that's all good. He's in the zone, weather looks good. I'll treat him as an individual here to give his report. If we come forward till tomorrow, nice breeze again. He'll maintain similar speeds, come through to the 31st. 2 days ahead, again, he'll be up here making fast time, so he's happy with that. No big issues through to the 1st of February. And again, he's got good breezes. So the next 3 days for good stuff for him. He'll be smiling and working out how much to drink every day. So he's looking okay. So we'll come back here. And I'll try and explain as much as we can say about what's going on here. Abelish does have some issues at the moment. They're health issues. We'll expand on that later in the week. So he's not able to sail the boat as efficiently as he was. He hasn't been injured. It's a carryover situation from previous injuries. And he's basically just taking it easy. He needs to have a rest and recuperate, and that's sort of what he's doing. So that's why he seems to be sailing an unusual course, which isn't competitive. He knows that. And as I say, there's no dramas, no issues. It's just a decision he's made, and that's allowing Kirsten to kick the can here. She's doing 7.2 knots. Came close down to the zone, but she knows where she is. She's getting, let's have a look at the cloud cover. Yeah, she's got some nice holes there. She'll shoot off a meridian passage, which gives her east-west latitude line very clearly, very simply, so she doesn't have to know where she is in longitude. She just doesn't want to go below the line, because she came quite close, within a few miles, and now she's on track again. So there's a break for Kirsten. She's able to punch ahead now, so she's ahead of Abelish, and we come back to the wind. And we'll look at what's going to happen here. I'll push them down here a bit in the next 24 hours. We've got, boom, that's near enough. It's similar conditions. Kirsten's getting a bit more breeze than Abelish. That'll suit both of them perfectly. So Kirsten's speeds are going to be high. And for the next day, 31st, more of the same. Abelish will have a lighter breeze, sailing comfortably. Kirsten will be going hell for leather and clearing out, which is a bit of fun. And then on the 1st, bring it into February, a whole new month. That's near enough, and it's going to pick up a bit. So they're all going to be pushing ahead there. There doesn't seem to, we'll monitor that, but not huge stuff. It's probably forecasting 30 knots, gusting 40 knots or so. Sea state will come up at that point. It'll start to pick up. Yeah, that's up around 5s and 6s and more. Would have been 4s and 5s before that anyway, because they're in that part of the world. So all is interesting. That's a fair way ahead. Normally I don't go that far, but we'll keep an eye on that. So today's sea is similar. That's 5 metres there, 5 or so. So real Southern Ocean stuff now. Even though it looks like benign stuff, it's still a sea. Now, Simon. We haven't had any contact at all with Simon today. We're not worried. It's up to him when he wants to contact us. But the good news is today was his day to play around with steering systems and how he's going to manage the boat in various weather. The weather's been playing into his hands perfectly. It went light. It's picking up a bit now. But it's very clear from this that he's pulled something off. And he's picked up. He was making 4.2 knots for the previous 4 hours, and now at 8 o'clock he's making 5.2. Have no idea whether he's hand steering a bunch of the time or whether he's sorted something out, but he's well able now to maintain a southerly trend in the course. This was his desire when we discussed everything yesterday. He didn't want to go north. So his objective was to get the boat to steer somehow with the wind on the quarter or from behind and make it effective to head in this direction. We have no idea. Yesterday he was seriously thinking about calling Chichester class early and then looking at some form of a landing down here in Ushuaia or Portimont or wherever and getting parts for the hydrovane and so on. He may have come up with a potential fix. There is a potential fix, but we can't talk about that with him at the moment because he's an entrant. The GGR can't use a sat phone for anything like that. And anyway, the good news is, as I say, he's heading down. So let's wait until we hear from him, and then we see what goes on. We are giving him weather, irrespective of whether it's heavy or light. We gave him all of today's weather. We'll give him tomorrow's weather, so he's well armed to do that. And then he'll make decisions going forward. But right now, he's still leading the GGR as a full competitor in the GGR, and that may, let's wait and see how it pans out. All very interesting. So his weather now for the next couple of days, I'll get this back so we get a big picture of the systems. Bit of wind down the bottom with Jean-Luc going around at the moment. But anyway, We go through till tomorrow. There's 24 hours ahead, and you can see it's just a constant west-norwesterly, settled all from the same direction. That helps the sea state. And we go into the next day, roughly 2 days ahead. It's going to pick up from the northwest. Not dramatic, but it's still strengthening. That'll be gusting 40, and that may be the next challenge for Simon, to see how all the systems are going. And then on the first, come through. Okay, it's going to lighten off before another front starts to come through, and that looks like a slightly bigger one, but there's 3 days ahead. I'll push this all the way. So there's 4 days ahead. Yeah, solid norwesterlies. These are a good thing, if you're set up for it. Like, this is good weather heading to the Horn. There's no big numbers yet. On the 3rd and 4th, starting to push through. Still no big storms there, which is cool. Cape Horn's got a bunch around it, but that's fine. So generally, again, Simon's looking okay. There's nothing that's going to cause too much angst, but the big issue is how he's steering and what he's planning to do. So that's really about it today. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you. Just a reminder, Tapio will be up on Monday, so watch out for that post, and enjoy the conversation when it comes.